Floyd Lawton is a free man, but is Task Force X the kind of life you can walk away from? Well, let's hop into the pages of Suicide Squad issue number 7 and find out together, shall we? So then, as the comic opens up, we check on in with Ted Kord, the de facto villain of this series. He's still desperately using all of his resources to try and track down the squad wherever they ran. He also makes reference to an island and a girl, meaning that what he's been doing with the Suicide Squad was only the tip of the iceberg, and he's thankful that even after Task Force X stole a bunch of his files, they still don't seem to know the real breadth of what's going on here. Now from there we transition on over to Floyd Lawton, Deadshot. He had discovered at the end of the previous issue that he actually did long ago serve his debt to society and as such wants to reunite with his family. At first he's worried if his daughter Zoe will even want to see him, but he's quite pleasantly surprised to see that she's all about Dad coming home. It's interesting too that Zoe is just one of his many children that have been crisised in and out of continuity over the years. I also want to say Zoe was like half Korean last time we saw her, but then again Deadshot's life and indeed a lot of the Suicide Squad gets retconned and moved around so often, who the hell knows anymore. We can actually see that Zoe and her mother are living quite well on all the money that Deadshot made as a professional assassin. His ex-wife may have not liked his line of work, but that still wasn't going to stop her from buying her and her daughter a better life away from him. Floyd swears that he's out of the game this time for good, though he's not exactly sure what he's going to do for work now. After all, he's not good at anything else. Hey man, you know what they say, it's never too late in life to learn computers. You're also an amoral killer, maybe you'd make a good exterminator. Now even though Floyd has been away from his daughter for a good portion of her life, he quickly discovers that some of his very best and very worst has rubbed off on her. She's made a superhero costume. Turns out she's won her last several archery tournaments and she's even started calling herself Live Shot. Get it? It's like Deadshot, only she doesn't want to hurt people. Zoe even went as far as to make a little costume for their dog, and it's just the cutest goddamn thing ever. More dog costumes, please. Eventually, the TV news ends up ruining this sweet moment. It seems that Kord was not willing to let Lawton go, even if he truly did serve out his sentence to completion. When the cops are literally at his family's door, it looks like Deadshot is about to pick up his guns and go back to work once again, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to make a scene, and he certainly doesn't want to kill anyone in front of his impressionable kid. And you know what? Had the cops here not been jackbooted thugs and decide to beat him into the earth even after he surrendered, chances are he probably would have left with them peaceably. But it's right around here things start spiraling out of control. Zoe shoots one of the SWAT guys in the leg with an arrow, which in turn gets all of them to turn their guns on her. But before they can fire, Deadshot springs into action. Once again, he doesn't want to actually murder anyone in front of his ex-wife and daughter, and because of that, he's sure to only shoot for the legs. Also, I know everyone and their mother in the comments section has been saying with that beard, Floyd Lawton looks a lot like John Wick, and you know what? Right here, right now, it is truly undeniable. He is Deadshot Wick. Deadshot does the best he can to protect his family, but the real save ends up coming at the hands of the Aryan Wink, who are able to use their flying and teleportation powers to get Zoe away from danger. Zoe asks if the revolutionaries are her father's friends, and they begrudgingly say, yeah, I guess we are. I guess we Suicide Squad people have to look out for each other, huh? In fact, keeping with the characterization we've seen since this series began, it was actually Harley Quinn who talked the other Suicide Squad members into going back for Deadshot, because again, they've been on the team together longer than just about anyone else at this point. Once the squad runs off the rest of the cops, what happens next becomes very clear for Floyd. They're never going to let him go, never going to let him live a happy life with his family so long as his paymasters are still running around. And as such, the only way he'll ever be able to be free is if he picks up his guns and mask one more time for one last great glorious mission. The Suicide Squad is going to kill the Suicide Squad. And it's on that note right there, everybody, the comic comes to a close. And so that was Suicide Squad issue number 7. And I gotta say, Tom Taylor continues to absolutely hit this one out of the park. I love the smaller focus piece on Floyd, a character who I've always really enjoyed and who I always felt like was just a couple more good stories away from breaking on through to the A-list. I don't know if this story is really gonna do that, but it's certainly a love letter to him and what he brings to the squad. In fact, Tom Taylor basically says, hey, this is a Suicide Squad where teamwork is actually important, where they actually do come back for each other, and maybe that will mean that when we do lose people later, it's going to hurt that much more. Overall, this one ticked about just all my boxes, and I would give it a very well-deserved 9 out of 10. Suicide Squad under Taylor continues to be one of my favorite damn books on the shelf right now, and it should be for you too.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quests. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.